Let's start this morning with some new developments in the search for Nancy Guthrie, of course, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. The FBI is now hoping for new leads after releasing this chilling, heartbreaking, scary video of a man outside Nancy's home, right? This is the thing that she woke up to. This is the image that she woke up to at, in the midnight hour. It led to one man being detained, questioned by authorities. Eventually, that man was let go, but CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has been following this from Tucson, Arizona.
Overnight, a frenetic chain of events in the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie. Late Tuesday night, a person the sheriff called a subject was detained for questioning south of Tucson during a traffic stop. Hours later, a man in front of cameras at his home said he was that subject and had just been released. CBS's Andres Gutierrez was there when the man, who only identified himself as Carlos, spoke to reporters.
What kind of questions were they asking you?
Nothing. They didn't ask me no questions.
So
nothing. They just sat me in the car. They investigated my car and this van, and that's it. They didn't ask me no questions, no nothing.
He added he had never heard of Nancy Guthrie or her famous daughter.
And you don't even know who the lady is? Do you know who Savannah Guthrie is?
No. I don't follow the news.
Right.
Police have not confirmed if Carlos was that subject. Before his release, local and federal authorities searched the home in Rio Rico, Arizona, about 60 miles south of Tucson and 10 miles from Mexico's border. CNN interviewed a woman at the home who was caught off guard.
They're just invading my property. I told them they're going in and out of my house, taking a lot of pictures and everything. I mean, like I told them, we're not hiding anything.
Earlier Tuesday, the FBI released this chilling new video recorded on a Nest camera outside Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance on February 1st. It shows a masked person wearing gloves and appearing to be armed with a weapon holstered to their waist, and who seems to be tampering with the door camera. The individual carrying a backpack turns around to pick up a clump of plants and then appears to use them to cover up the camera. Jason Pack is a retired FBI special agent.
So when you look at the person coming up in the video, you see where the weapon is, you see his gait, he doesn't appear to be moving very quickly. All of those things will tell profilers certain things that they're going to look for and kind of narrow that timeline down.
Cybersecurity experts tell CBS News even without an active subscription, Nest cameras still record when they detect motion. That video gets stored virtually in a cloud, but is compressed to free up storage. On Tuesday, Savannah Guthrie posted the new images on social media, saying someone out there recognizes this person, adding, "Bring her home."
The pressure is on. The Pima County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, they're looking for these next mistakes to happen, and they're going to be ready to capitalize on them when they do.
And Pack calls yesterday's video a major break in the case. This as the FBI continues to call on the public for any information. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Tucson, Arizona.
All right, let's bring in Anna Schecter. She heads the CBS News Crime and Policing Unit and is the perfect person to have here right now. Anna, I mean, the updates were coming quickly overnight. It was hard to keep up. This person in this video, masked, disguised, but what are investigators hoping that they can still gain from it?
Well, very distinctive gloves, jacket, face mask, and backpack. They've already figured out likely the make and model, the brand of those items of clothing. They might go to retailers. There's a ton of work. They're flooding the zone with resources on that there. So that's part of it. They might be searching the area, garbage bins, looking for discarded items. And this is a massive search, lots of people on this. And then, of course, there are people sitting behind their computers continuing to review surveillance video, continuing to go through, see if any other Nest camera video is helpful. This is a painstaking operation. It takes a lot of time.
So let's talk about, this is sort of an aside to the desperate search for Nancy Guthrie, which is how, I'm not going to say easily, but how the government was able to access information, critical information in this case, about an individual using cyber technology that I was unaware that they had. In other words, as Chris points out, Nancy Guthrie did not subscribe to the Nest subscription service, and it so it wasn't recording, or it was recording, but it didn't store it?
Over. It doesn't store it in an easily accessible manner. So she did not pay for the subscription where you keep this video.
Right.
So it just gets recorded
means,
over and goes off into the ether, but it is stored in the cloud.
It is stored somewhere,
yes.
And that just has me thinking about all the devices that we have, from Alexa and Siri to those cameras that are in people's refrigerators to the information that we share on ChatGPT. That somewhere, yes, there are cameras. Some refrigerators have cameras in them. Don't ask me why, but they are there so that you can talk to them and you know, like that. And so the question becomes, why, or we probably have not yet begun to scratch the surface of how the government can access information about us. And if the government can access it, I hear that they're working with Google to do that. So that means the private companies have it, and the government can get access to it if they need it.
Even if it's hard for you yourself to access your own video. Right. So this is a really interesting discussion, and Google is helping the FBI, given that it's a high-profile case. They could require a subpoena. They're agreeing to support. But what I will say is they had to search for this needle in the haystack. There is so much data out there. These cameras are recording us. They're compressed, but they are stored in the cloud. It does exist. But in a way, you can almost be blinded by the data. There's so much of it, it's hard to find. So in a way, that's a protection for the public, except for when somebody's really motivated to find it. So it could be for a good reason. Like in this case, it could potentially be for a bad reason. Right. But this is an issue that our society, we've been wrestling with this for 10, 15 years.
So it makes me just wonder, what about those missing seconds from the Epstein video? Where are those? Yeah. It's been years. But here you're able to do this in 10 days, and in the other cases. So again, it just brings to mind a lot of questions about how powerful, and I know that the FBI isn't even saying exactly how they did this, because they're probably also using it for national security purposes in ways that we're not aware of.
The other thing I'm wondering about is that man who was questioned for a few hours and released in the house that was searched. What do we know about why law enforcement thought this person was someone that they wanted to talk to, and how they got that wrong?
Law enforcement believed that he was in the vicinity of the Nancy Guthrie home, and that is why they wanted to go and talk to him.
At the time?
They were always, the way they worded it to us is, this is someone they want to talk to. They want to ask questions. We never heard they're arresting a suspect, but this was someone, even a person of interest, that they wanted to talk to. But it turned, and this guy was put in handcuffs. His wrists were swollen from that. Turned out he had nothing to do with it.
But Anna, real quickly, just so to clarify for our viewers, wouldn't that have been something they would have done 10 days ago if this guy was in the vicinity of her house when the crime had? Why wait this long to go out and find this guy?
They might have thought that other stronger leads would have yielded something, and they ran down those leads, or they lost that vehicle, and here was an opportunity to go talk to this person, and they took it.
All right. Anna Schecter, always great information. Thank you, Anna.